Jamie. This is Dead Dodge Garage, and I'm about to drive this Ram truck, which I built by myself with my priceless 71 Demon, a two-owner, 87,000 mile, mostly original paint car. Something like 5,000 miles round trip to go race Uncle Tony in Nashville, Tennessee-ish. I'm late. I planned to leave about 22 hours ago, and as you can see, I haven't. So that needs to happen. The car is strapped down. I think it's good to go. My new winch, everything's secured up here. Toolbox is full, like very full. Just about every inch of the truck is full, frankly, which is great. I'm gonna have to put Tom Hergert from Rocket Restorations in there at some point in this trip, so that'll be fun. I do have snacks. I also have Prudence, the safety goat. She's along for the ride. And a tiny Demon for good luck. If you haven't seen it, there's a full build series for the truck on my channel, as well as a very, very healthy playlist on Dale's Demons, so go ahead and check those out. Right now, it's time for me to hit the road. And by hit the road, I mean go to a parts store, because I only realized this morning when checking the fluids and such that the serpentine belt tensioner on this thing is toast. That's not going to make it 5,000 miles. Oh, did I mention this trip is like 5,000 miles? Having the Lancer on the back was kind of cool, but I prefer this view, which is good. It's going to be there for a while. This Dodge truck came from the collection of Dave Wren, a legendary Pacific Northwest Mopar drag racer. I'm hoping using this thing will be like a good luck charm, but we'll see. Before I bought it, it sat in his field for a very long time. Somewhere between 10 and 15 years, I guess. Well, it's not the longest sitting vehicle I've ever bought and attempted to drive somewhere, but 5,000 miles? When the longest I've ever driven it is, well, Olympia and back. That's an hour each way. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I still don't have a speedometer, so I'm gonna have to rely on phone GPS. Yay. Ditto odometer, of course. The fuel gauge does something, but I don't think it's accurate, like, at all. Tried to brim the fuel tank. It only took 7 gallons, which, that's not right. That can't be right. I don't have a breather hooked up to the filler neck I built, and that is probably my problem. Anyway, the gauge didn't move either, so that's good news. What do you know about fixing crap in the parts store parking lot? Tell you what I know, quite a bit. In fact, and this is a true story, once upon a time, like, I don't even know, 7, 8 years ago, I did the air pump delete on a 454 powered motorhome right there, on the clock, to get it out of the parking lot. Good times. Yeah, anyway, your belt shouldn't be ramming into your tensioner like that, and the guts of the tensioner shouldn't be falling apart. This is a very common Cummins problem, and easily solved, given that all you have to do is pop the belt off and loosen one bolt. It's also much, much easier on these trucks than it is on later ones. The worst part of the whole deal is feeding the belt out around the fan. I am replacing it for obvious reasons, but I'll hang on to this one for a spare. One important annoying difference to note: the original tensioners have a 3/8 drive hole, the replacement ones are half drive, which is great, but you gotta have both. That's actually why I packed this. Okay, kind of stupid on this one. I had to loosen the fan shroud, which is only held in place with clips, interestingly enough, to get the ratchet started in that thing. And I had to reef the crap out of it to get the belt home. Make sure you go around, check all your grooves, make sure you've got it in the right place. It will run with one pulley, one groove off, and it'll slowly destroy itself. Even with that bit of annoyance, 10-minute job. Now, talking to people, that took another 25, because it turns out you don't see a Demon on a Ram truck every day, and I'm quite the spectacle. Well, here we go. What do you think, Prudence? Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same. Yeah. All right. Engage the hyperdrive. Okay, that's the soundtrack for the next, I don't know, 50 hours. Nothing's fallen off yet. But I've only made it like 12 miles, so that's not a great accomplishment or anything. I did get a burrito and coffee though, so that's the good news. Supposed to stay clean today. Anyway, as I mentioned, I'm headed to Tennessee to race Tony. But it's a little more complicated than that. I've got stops in Oregon, Oklahoma, Arkansas, maybe North Texas, although I don't think I'm gonna have time for that, unfortunately. Seriously, this is embarrassing. Anyway, once I make it to Nashville and inevitably lose, then I'm gonna cannonball north 10 miles to Mopar's in the Park in Stillwater, Minnesota. 10 miles? I meant 10 hours, but it's actually 13 and a half, so yeah. And if I get there early enough, which seems unlikely, I'll enter the Demon in the car show. Burrito. I haven't calculated the exact mileage, but it's something like 5,000. And most of that I'll be doing solo. All right. Thank you. Let's get back to it. Jealous. Thing's awesome. I think I mentioned the truck took less fuel than I expected. I think I figured that out. I built a filler neck, and the dingus end on it is just a really short filler neck that came in the truck. No idea where they got that. When I assembled it with a big gnarly chunk of expensive Volco hose, that pipe now extends all the way into the tank, so it drops like probably that far below the top. I reckon when the fuel level gets up to the bottom of that neck, it stops taking fuel. Kind of makes sense. But that is well above 3/4 of a tank, so I should have plenty of fuel on board. And if I run out, I've got a jerry can, also full of diesel. Unfortunately, the stakes are a bit higher than in a gas rig. I'll have to bleed out the injection lines. That would kind of suck. So I'm gonna try not to run out of fuel, but you know, we'll see. I was planning to stop at Rocket Restorations where I work. It's like that way, 15 miles or something. But you know what? I think I got a late enough start. I gotta get to Bend, Oregon and visit my grandma. Well, it would be nice if I got there before nighttime. Plus, after that, I'd like to make it another 4 or 5 hours down the way tonight, so yeah, it's time to make some miles. The truck's doing fine. It is pulling to the right. It doesn't seem as bad as it did, so yeah, okay, sometimes it does. It depends on the road surface. I did check all my brakes, bearings, nothing's getting hot, everything seems fine. Went back there and snapped the straps on the Demon again. We're doing good. Well, here's 66 miles an hour. Not horrible. Not my favorite. Anyway, now I'm on I-5 with everyone else in Washington. I'm gonna ride this highway all the way to the state line and then turn east for a bit, and then south for a bit, and then all kinds of other things after that. Here's why you moved to Washington. For the green. It's always green. Don't mind the violent shaking of the camera. Apparently Tom passed me going the other way a few minutes ago. He says I look marvelous. Just out here snapping necks. 70 miles down. Looking good. It's not the greatest ride in the world. It's a little shaky. Did another hub and strap check. All fine. Now I gotta go find the little trucker's room. Yeah, it's beautiful. In case you're still worried about clearance, I see zero evidence of the header or the subframe connector bumping. And we did test the suspension a good few times on that run, so I'm confident we're good here. You might already be screaming this in the comments, but I do realize a breather hose would solve my filling problems. I need one anyway. Also, my brilliant plug setup here is dripping occasionally. I traded a major fuel leak for a minor one, and I'm good with that deal. Motorcycle envy. Oh. Did I mention the truck shakes? Anyway, that thing's sweet. Did I mention how much I love traffic? I think I did. Ooh, I like it. Now that I'm Now that I'm at low speed again, I'm still smelling engine oil. Because I poured it everywhere because of the stupid filler situation. Anyway, the Cummins engine is just like super cold-blooded, so it's gonna take a while. Giant boat. Oregon, state number 2 of many. Finally out of Portland, there it is, the Columbia River. I'll be hanging out next to it for the next hour, something like that. If you've never driven the Columbia Gorge, it's pretty sweet. Some kinds of cool stuff. Parks and waterfalls and cliffs and trees. Corbett, Oregon. It's a huge crawl up this giant cliff right here. I once bought an 80s 4x4 slant 6 4-speed pickup up there. That's what ruined the axle in my 2014 Ram, funny enough. This is not the fastest way to Grandma's house, but I think it's the prettiest. The fastest way is up over Mount Hood. That's the way I came back in my 68 Charger when I did that road trip. Windsurfing. Neat. This is like the world capital of that stuff, I think. Rocks. Had to activate the lumbar support. A pillow. Yeah, for some reason, Chrysler never heard of that until like the late 90s. Traditional fuel stop on trips this way. Then we head up that hill over there. This is more of a just making sure fuel stop than anything. I don't have a fuel gauge. I'm gonna try and figure out what kind of mileage I'm getting. 3.5 hours down, 2.5 hours to my first actual stop. It might be 12.5 miles a gallon, but also the truck's at an angle, so I might have gotten more fuel in it. Not sure. Time for a bunch more miles. Yeah, it's kind of always like that here. Ooh, this one time, the last bolt fell out of the shifter on our 4-speed van, right there. Okay, climbing a mountain. If you missed the memo on this, the computer in this truck is totally dead. It's been bypassed for all of the important operations, and I have to control the overdrive manually. Unfortunately, this truck's 2 years too old to have a lockup converter. If it did have one, I'd have to control that too. Oh, this is nothing. Well, okay, it's getting steeper. Oh wow, the Cummins almost got up to temperature. Almost. I forgot to put a thermostat in it. I kind of ran out of time. Yeah, this is beautiful country as well. Still climbing. This is just nuts. It's not hot. Everything's fine. But it is finally getting warm enough to burn that oil off the head, so that's cool. I just climbed 2,600 feet. Nice. Okay, here comes the really fun part. Popping the overdrive works great for controlling the speed down hills. It's nice, and it gives the engine a chance to get way too cool. Someday, exhaust brake, among many other things. Cute little town, but there's one thing I like about it in particular. It's a Charger. Oh yeah. Sweet. I never have stopped and asked about it. It has been there for like decades. Do I always drive like an hour out of the way to see a Charger I'll never own and haven't even stopped to talk to anyone about in like 15 years ago in this way? Yeah. Also, my brakes smell hot now. Shocking, I know. But we're about at the end of the downhill section, and now we go up again. Yay! Yay! Absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous. And terrifying. $3,360 feet of elevation. That's a lot. It's doing great though. These lights are ridiculous. This morning all 5 were back. Now we're down to 2. Beautiful. Stopped here before. It's a mountain identifier. Pretty cool. Also, cold. Oh yeah. Make a chicken break. Oh, there was a square body Ram truck back there. It was sick. Somewhere through here there's an orange Warlock. Yeah, it must be a little farther. Oh yeah! Look! Oh, Lancer! Ooh, and a swept line. That guy's got all kinds of cool stuff. Dump truck? I think that Warlock used to be there. Nope, there it is. Yeah. Cool. And a club cab. Man. Okay, this is getting out of hand. There's too much cool stuff to look at. Yeah, neat old trucks just everywhere. And a box thing, if you're into those. Madras, Oregon. The land rust forgot, I think. Bungee jumping happens here. Terrifying. More cool stuff. It's a self-fixing Dodge. I have a right turn indicator, and it only took 290 miles. Brr. Almost there. I slightly broke the temperature controls in this thing, fixing the air conditioning. So the good news is there's air conditioning. The bad news is it's stuck cold. And I have to take the glove box out to get back there and change it to hot. First legged, only 300 miles. I'm half tempted to do some more tonight, but I'm also half tempted to not. If I don't, I kind of have to do 14 hours a day for the next 2 days. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, the Demon's slightly parked in a tree, but I think it's okay. Oh, don't pee on me. You know, stay. Butte. Cookie. Yeah, there's that Butte again. Anyway, good morning. Back on the road. Left Grandma's house at about 7. Got fuel. I might be getting 10 miles a gallon, or I'm getting better at filling it. I don't know. Turns out if you fill it slower, you get fewer air bubbles, and it's easier to fill. But anyway, I've got 1,000 miles to drive today to Laramie, Wyoming. So hopefully the truck cooperates. It's not like cold here, but it's a little cold. And the grid heaters don't work because, as mentioned, everything attached to the computer doesn't work. So this thing billowed smoke when I fired it up in front of the retirement home. That was pretty fun. And this is what the next forever looks like. Kind of sandy with weird little bits of brush and the sun shining. Well, that part's nice. I can swear I'm smelling gasoline. I'd be more worried about that, except this truck runs on diesel. I don't see any pouring out of the Demon onto the bed, so hopefully everything's fine. Even on fresh, smooth roads, it's not quite a smooth ride. It's not the worst. Air ride seat. What a good idea. Oh yeah. Going great. I'm fully expecting to start seeing horrible wear on this tire, but so far they match. I do have one minor known issue. Middle joint's got a little slop in it. I've got a spare with me, but I didn't have time to change it, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. Has not gotten any worse so far. I feel a bit of a vibration from the engine, not so much from the driveline, so I think it's probably fine. We're just gonna let it ride. Again, this truck was like totally unknown before this trip. I'd done one trip towing a car for 50 miles and a few trips back and forth from Olympia, but I'd say 250, 300 miles test time on it max. And I've already exceeded that by a good bit on this trip, so. Anyway, time to get back on the road. 900 miles left to go. I came pretty well stocked with snacks, and I did load up on some crappy gas station coffee and some Red Bulls for later. I know it's silly. I know it's kind of a piece of garbage, but I really love this thing. It has occurred to me, you may be wondering why I want a ramp truck. Well, as you may know from the cars I collect, I have a certain love for things from the 60s and 70s. And back then, if you had a drag racer, the ramp truck was just about the ultimate way to get to the race. Also, it looks awesome. I've wanted one of these for 10 years, and I use this trip as an excuse to finally build one. I'm pleased with that. Yeah, my 03 Cummins is more comfortable and gets better mileage and has a whole bunch of other redeeming qualities, but This thing's awesome. Can't wait for a cab swap. Let's see how fast it isn't. That's not quite to the floor, but it's pretty close. Of course, I'm going up a hill. That's about 50, 53. It's like into overdrive. And eventually I'll hit 65 miles an hour. It could be worse. Brimmed the tank again using the same slow fill procedure. Did the math, 13.3 miles a gallon. And that was hauling it at about 65 the entire way, partially up a mountain. That's gonna be hard to beat. It's about what my truck and trailer would get, so yeah. It's a hash brown stuffed with egg and bacon and cheese. It's amazing the technology they got these days. One minor consistent issue I've been having is brake fluid blowing under the lid gasket out of the rear reservoir. Then the front reservoir refills the rear, so they're both going down. It's got one of those equalizing holes in there. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep it topped up because I like having brakes. Replacing that master, yet another thing on the list that I ran out of time for. Okay, I'm in a huge hurry, but when you see something like this, yeah, you kind of just have to stop. Been here before too. I was amazed because this truck is the exact twin of my 48, which of course I've since sold. Slightly disappointing. This guy's got all the cool stuff. 3rd series bed. Needs some work. God, I love these trucks. I love this part of the world. They don't knock down old buildings, and there's cool iron everywhere. Oh yeah. Go straight for 124 miles. All right, I'm on it. When they said go straight, they meant go straight. Stinking Water Summit. Nice. Also definitely the middle of nowhere. That's a big puddle. Wow. Some fork of the Malheur River, however you say that. Kinda cool. Firebird. Neat. The CB's basically only good for listening to guys shouting out on skip while you're driving across a 60-mile stretch with no service. I found an interstate. Now I get to hang out here for 224 miles. Here's state, yeah, what she said. State number 3, Idaho. Fuel stop. There have been a lot of these. And they're gonna be way more. Ran for 160 miles. Still no idea how much actual usable fuel tank I have. The good news is diesel's getting cheaper. The aliens have landed. How do you like 14 miles a gallon cruising on the interstate at 70? I like it. I turned on the air conditioning, by which I mean I ran the control wire that I chopped in there for the AC relay to battery negative and turned on the air conditioning, and it is nice. Ah, I forgot to clean the dead bugs. Where'd all the beef go? I'm running out of it. I don't know if this is because the AC's on, or if I'm like starving for fuel, or what's going on, but I'm gonna pull off and poke at things, I guess. Yeah, it's warming up now, but this thing got iced to crap. This temperature control module doesn't work, which is apparently common. That's why I put a jumper wire on the compressor. I could tell for the last maybe 10 miles it wasn't as cold anymore. I think the compressor was just working hard against an ice block in there, so we'll just run without the AC again for a while. It's not that hot. With moving air, it's fine. Sure. Oh, I did notice this. AC line rubbing on an intercooler hose. They both have a wear spot, and neither of those things blowing would be a good day, so I'm gonna go ahead and back up this electrical tape with more electrical tape. Just for the record, yeah, it never even got warm at all. In fact, it was running colder than before. Seriously, the Cummins engine is just incredible. Super, super efficient. They don't make heat. I mean, I could do this after climbing that giant hill back there. So anyway, moving on, I think. I got 200 feet. It wasn't that. The AC was doing weird stuff, but it wasn't that. I think it's a fuel filter. I went to hit it and it's just like gutless. So let's change the fuel filter on the side of the road. Why not? I had every intention of changing this thing before I left, but I didn't do that. That one looks aged, so yeah, let's swap that out. The one thing I didn't bring, drain pan. Yeah, I got a bunch of rags and a bunch of bags, so I'll lay some towels down and then we'll see about getting that unscrewed. Wow, I got the filter loose by hand, and then holding it, I got the water and fuel sensor loose with a pair of pliers without too much trouble. That is a good Wix filter, but yeah, it's been on there for a while. Oof, I was really worried about that for a second, but thankfully I did find a new O-ring for the sensor in the box. Yeah, so yeah, that shouldn't be in your diesel. There's all kinds of interesting stuff in here. That's why you got one of these really nice screw-on filters to catch all the bonus ingredients. So yeah, we'll screw a new one on, and I bet we'll keep on trucking, no problem. Let this be a lesson to you. Carry a filter, yes, but if you preemptively change them, you know, that's a good thing also. Just saying. Your injection pump does not like being starved for fuel. That's one of the things that kills those VP44s on the 24-valve trucks so frequently. It's not good. I actually just had to do this on a Cummins-equipped F800 Ford. That one cut out way worse than this truck. It was also way harder to get off. Now, of course, I'm carrying my classic car, race car, not metric tool set with me for go fast purposes on this trip, but I did load this entire crappy Silver Eagle set that we used to use at the shop just so I would have 10 millimeters to work on this truck. Okay, that's funny. Maybe the bleed valve is 3/8. Whatever, 10 mil works. Anyway, open the air bleed valve and then proceed to run the hand pump on your lift pump for like a minute, and then fuel will gush out of there. You should be good to go, and you probably won't even have to bleed the injector lines, which kind of sucks. Not as bad on these 12-valve trucks, but I still don't recommend it as a fun pastime. It's kind of messy. Oh, that wasn't even a whole minute. Try and get the air bubbles out. Yeah, I think we're good. Looks like the lift pump still works, so that's good news. I did actually pack an extra one of those as well. Yay! No leaks! Hopefully we're once more capable of interstate travel. Since I'm here, I did myself a favor and changed this useless switch that just turned on a light and did nothing else to energize the compressor. Eventually I'll make that work through the proper switch and all the other components, probably. But for now, I'd like to be able to turn the AC on. I did have it fully charged with R12. The system was still holding a little bit of pressure. It works great, as I mentioned. Ooh, a train! Man, I like trains. Wow, here's how much the compressor loads the engine. A bit, actually. All right, hopefully it accelerates this time. Yay! So fixed. All right, I've only got 650 more miles to go today. Ish. Ooh, chicken sandwich. Nice. Also, crickets. There's so much Idaho. For the most part, it all looks like this. Well, I just did my usual Sunday live stream from the cab of the ramp truck. That was fun. I My thanks to everybody who hung out for it. Now I gotta make more miles and get the heck out of Idaho. Oh, that's looking good. Ooh, an Idaho State Patrol Charger just ripped by me. That sounded awesome. Good news, everyone. When I turn the lights on, I start smelling burning electrical, which is not good. I don't see any smoke billowing out of anywhere, but yeah, usually where there's a smell, there's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's stuff trying to be on fire. I suspect it's like a dash light or something, but I don't really know. The good news is I'm in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, and the sun's going down, so. All right, headlights on, but dash lights dimmed all the way. No smell. Running lights are good, which I can thankfully check in my mirror. I'm sure I won't be thankful about that anymore once it gets dark, but that's another matter. So yeah, pretty sure there's a short in one of the gauge lights somehow, the cluster board, or who knows what, but I can run this way. My fuel gauge essentially does nothing. My temperature gauge always gives me good news. Ditto the oil gauge. Amp charge gauge thingy, it never moves, although I think it works. And my speedometer is on my phone. So basically the cluster's extra anyway. The good news is it's beautiful here. The bad news is I still haven't cleaned the windshield. Wait, I think this actually works. Yeah! Wow! It's not doing much. Well, that's really cool looking. And also, I'm blind. Utah! Oh, the road changed. That's state number 4. Every time. I might have only gotten like 11 and a half miles a gallon on that tank. Or I did math wrong because I'm keeping daily mileage totals, but not tank totals. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I do know that I went like 200 miles on that tank and there was plenty of fuel left. I'm just being super conservative on my fuel stops because I don't have a gauge. Let's see if any gauge lights try to be on fire. Not on fire, but not really. Maybe it's the radio. I don't see any fire. Or smell smoke, currently. Holy pizza, look at this thing. It's amazing. Hopefully it's actually edible. Wyoming, where it's currently midnight. I'm still driving for some reason. The good news is I found a cheap hotel and it's another like 6 miles, so I'm gonna go there and die for some hours. All right, this is crazy. I've been through Wyoming once before, and I went to that fireworks store. Allegedly, fireworks from said store burned a hole in the headliner of a Toyota Prius, which we later owned. Small world. Ooh. Shopsmith. 616 miles today. Not 1,000, but still a lot. I'll see you bright and early. Oh, good. It's still there. Nice. Good morning, truck. Oh, I should check the fluids. Ah, the fantastical Cummins engine. It's not even using oil somehow. This is why I chose this crappy truck. The Cummins never fails, except when it does, but it usually doesn't. They're really good engines. I know I mentioned the grid heaters aren't working. It's not that cold this morning, but it'll probably smoke like a chimney anyway. Let's find out. Oh, that's nothing. It's only been parked for 6 hours. Anyway, time for more fuel. Oh, I should move that. Oh, I talked to several people on the phone last night, and they all told me I sounded tired. No, I just sound like garbage, losing my voice, super congested. It's awesome. God, that is a good looking rig. Take the Demon off the back, not so much, but together, just excellent. Someone kind of put a mountain in the way, so now I'm climbing that. The truck's holding over 60 miles an hour though. That's better than yesterday. Wow. So flat. Oh. Windmills. Chevy 2 drag car. Whee! Just crossed the Continental Divide. Also the biggest pothole I've ever seen or hit in my entire life. Turns out if you push it up to 82, this thing cruises pretty smoothly. So I guess that's the move. Probably murder my fuel mileage, but I'll get there faster. Which is good because according to Google, I've got another 18 and a half plus hours. And that's cruising at 80, so yeah, cool. How many continental divides are there? I don't know, but this one's at 7,000 feet. 177 miles down so far. Rawlins, Wyoming. That's cool. The next big city that definitely has fuel. Well, I say big city, but you know, big for Wyoming. Anyway, Laramie. I might have been able to make it there, but so many mountains. Something like 8,600 feet of elevation here, which is just nuts. I live at like 13 feet of elevation above sea level, so a little different. How would you even say that? Wyoming's a lot longer than I thought. I'm finally on the east side of Laramie, where I thought I'd get last night. That was never going to happen. I think we can all admit that collectively. Anyway, getting places now. The route I'm taking puts me all the way through Nebraska. It's kind of a northern route, fewer miles than going south through Oklahoma. Cuts off my original intended Oklahoma stop, but I'm just way behind, so I need to make some miles. So yeah, I'm gonna blast across Nebraska. I'm sure that'll be fun. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Still turning left. My left hand keeps falling asleep, which is a little inconvenient, so I have to switch between the left and the right. I usually drive just like this. The other issue is the lack of cruise control. That would have been a really nice feature for a trip like this. Nebraska. I've never been to Nebraska. How many states is that? 6 states. That'll be neat. I don't know why diesel is 60 cents cheaper in Maverick, but I like it. Something like 40 miles back, this incredible ball of like secret tree garbage came flying out of a heater vent. That was neat. Oh yeah. Back up to like 13.7 miles a gallon. Still cruising at 75, but on flatter land. I slowed this thing down to like 60, and that would be way better, but I'm not gonna do that. Oh, that's cool. I want a caboose. I think that's a good life goal. All right, I'm gonna push it on this tank. 270 miles. Let's see what that does. When I get to Lincoln. got 27 miles till my next stop. Unless I have an unplanned stop. But I'm feeling confident still, somehow. So many dead bugs. Wait. I think I have been here. Have I been to Nebraska before and I just forgot? Not only did I not run out of fuel, but I did the slosh test when I got here. There's still like a handful of gallons in there, so I'm thinking 300 miles, safe range. And of course I've still got a jerry can if I run out. Sun's going down, but gotta make some more miles tonight. I was down to just the middle one, you know, the one that's full of water. That one came back when I smacked it though. Oh yeah, my thanks to Lovejoy with the channel Lovejoy something I can't say Sanctuary, who bought me dinner. Super awesome. Just happens to live about 20 miles off of I-80 here where I'm cruising through Nebraska, so it was cool to catch up with him. If you don't know Lovejoy's channel, go check him out. He does all kinds of silly stuff. I'm gonna get another 3 hours down and then take a nap, I think. Well, it's dark. Getting close to Lincoln, Nebraska now, and there are actually cars for some reason. I don't like it. Lincoln. After like 700 or 800 miles, I'm finally getting off I-80. Nice. Time to head south. Was that a...
then merge onto US 7077 south.
Thank you. Was that a firework, or did I imagine that? Oh, it was a firework, and then there was another one. You know, I think the headlights were like pulsing like that last night, but I don't know, maybe it's worse. I should probably replace this crappy old voltage regulator with a crappy new voltage regulator. That might help. Also, why are there traffic lights on the highway? Don't those headlights look great? That is a trick of the camera. I can see, but not that well. Huh. I'm in Iowa. I didn't know I was going through Iowa. Anyway, I guess I am. Missouri.
Welcome to Missouri.
Yeah, thanks. That was like a tiny, tiny little piece of Iowa. Still have like another hour and 10 minutes or something. I'm stopping in St. Joseph, Missouri for the night. That'll be 789 miles today. That's a lot of miles. Also, why does it smell like baby poop here? Well, that gave me a heart attack. I flicked from high beam to low beam and the headlights went out. But then I flicked the switch again and everything was back to normal. It's fine, I was only going around a corner at like 66 miles an hour. At night, with no overhead lights. Huh, Oregon. That way. I'm sure all that's that way is Kansas. I'm driving all alongside Kansas, but I never go in Kansas. I'm gonna go through Kansas City, but that is in Missouri. The yellow side marker lights reflecting on the mirrors is kind of terrible, but it also gives me this warm and fuzzy feeling, like I'm not alone. I really need to clean this mirror off, that is terrible. Also, it's still broken. I guess I found the right hotel. It's all full of truckers and trailer people. I can't hear anything really. Stay. Good Ram truck. Good morning from St. Joseph, Missouri. Good news, I got some rest. Bad news, I got some rest. It's 11 a.m. and I meant to leave at like 7. So that's unfortunate. I'll be getting to my first real stop late this afternoon, I suppose. This is gross. I'm sure there's some oil seeping out slowly, but that puddle is the one that I put there when I filled the oil on the engine. It still hasn't all burned off. Wow, engine oil is actually still bang on the fill line. It's not even that dirty yet. Really glad I didn't make the back of the deck any lower. That would have caused problems. Oh, in case you're looking at this and thinking that must be like top heavy and terrifying, it's actually not. It's way more stable and decent to drive than, say, my 3rd gen Cummins with the bed camper. That's terrifying. This is fine. I had always planned to swap a swept line cab onto this thing, but I actually don't really mind this. I do mind all of this stuff. I don't like the smashed rocker either. So I'd have to fix that and then change the entire nose and the doors for like 70s units. Then it might be cool. And then my grill guard push bumper setup would still fit too. And it would be less work. I love less work. Welcome to the Midwest. Enjoy your stay. Everything's all green here. Kind of looks like home. This is Interstate 29 through the western end of Missouri, and it's very pretty. Oh, not the best of highways, but none of them on this trip really have been. Thank you. This is an interstate. Why? This is terrible. North Kansas City. Also, this traffic is horrible and I hate it. Oh, wow. Whee! Missouri River. It's kind of muddy. Wow. It's kind of pretty here. Also, too hot. Also, why are there stoplights on the highway? This is ridiculous. Well, I like this better. Clinton, Missouri. Oh, haven't had breakfast yet. Just got a big whiff of like smoked sausage or something. Barbecue and fuel. Oh yeah. Speaking of fuel, the gauge checked out. Not that it, did anything anyway. I'm guessing one of the crappy wires I shoved in there fell off. I was wondering when I was gonna hear it. Well, I'm hearing it. The scream of the cicadas. Okay, that's weird. It's never taken that much fuel, and I might be getting horrible mileage now, like 10 and a half, 11. That or this pump is goofy. The gauge is back. The wires didn't fall off. Maybe it was legitimately like out of fuel. It took 25 gallons. Humansville. All right. Ozark, Missouri. I just saw a weird shade of green duster up there on the hill. Aw, then I saw an armadillo on its back. Poor little bastard. Wow. Pretty here. Ozark Hills, I think. I did think I was done with mountain climbing. Apparently not. Wow. Rocks. How much more Missouri is there? Arkansas. Yay. I feel like I'm driving through a jungle now. This is interesting. How much this looks like home. Kind of a lot. Seriously, where am I? 5 minutes away. I haven't told you where I'm going yet. I'm going to Arkansas to see a fellow Mopar YouTuber, drag racer, just all around awesome guy. You probably know him. His name's Joe. This really looks like every back road in Grays Harbor or Pacific County. Oh! All right. Ooh. Cadillac. Well, I believe I have arrived. This looks like it actually does cool stuff. First time taking the car off. It's going great already. Bottomed out the header slightly. Bit of a hill here. Oh yeah. Not bad. The truck breathes a sigh of relief. Stay. Yep, it's a Mopar. Apparently I'm getting executive parking next to the Barracuda. Hey, that's a good look. He might be a little faster than me. Just a little. Joe was gracious enough to loan me a garage spot so I could get the ramp truck empty. Now that the ramp truck's empty, I get to run over to Oklahoma and pick up my secret weapon. I forgot how peppy it is without a car on the back. I mean, it's not fast or anything. It's decent though. All right, I've realized when it gets down to the bottom, that gauge does do something. Because when the fuel sloshes, it drops to empty. Then it comes back up. I've run 280 miles on this tank, something like that. Currently headed to town to get some fuel, and then I get to drive to Oklahoma, 2.5 hours, and then drive back, 2.5 hours. Good times. Yeah! I apologize to all the states I've driven through on this trip for completely annihilating your bug population. All right, 2.5 hours into the darkness that way. But first, the dinner of champions. A corn dog with ketchup and mustard. Prudence, why are you always hogging the shot? For some reason, this thing like shakes and vibrates way worse at 85 miles an hour without a car on the back. I could see riding rougher, but why would it shake more? No idea. Anyway, making pretty good time. I've been staring at this dead speedometer for like, what, 7 states now? The funny part is, it worked when I first started getting the truck drivable. Those 21 miles on the odometer are the first miles I put on it testing it. It died after I replaced the battery. Still don't know why that is. It's an electronic speedo, so, I mean, it's an electrical problem, I realize that. Another hour and 15 minutes to wherever it is in Oklahoma I'm going to get race car parts. Oh hey, I'm in Oklahoma. Where am I now? I think I found it. This looks promising. What the heck kind of noise is that? Frogs, I guess. Mission success! I'm back on the road toward Joe's. I don't think I'm going to make it all the way there tonight. I'll find some hotel somewhere. Probably seedy, definitely cheap. Anyway, my sincerest thanks to Darren for the help. More on that later. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Time to sleep. It's 1:30 a.m. Oh, tiny can of espresso. Please save me from my bad decisions. All right, time to party on. Yeah, I did know the cowl was all full of garbage. I meant to vacuum that out, but, well, the problem's solving itself anyway. Well, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. It's a good thing the cooling system is almost extra with these Cummins 12-valve engines because, yeah, it's pretty low. I guess if it's the only leak sealer, then it's the right leak sealer. All right, now we simply pour in the new radiator. Oh yeah, delicious leak sealing goodness. Suddenly I'm thirsty again. I probably could have gotten some actual coolant, but you know, there's probably still some in there. Whoop, don't do that. So with what I dumped in out of my bottle, it was almost a gallon low. That's not that bad a leak. I just heard a Hemi start. And I know it was a Hemi because exhaust leaks. As small as the leak is, depressurizing the cap might well just stop it from puking out, but we want the leak sealer under pressure. So, we'll see what this does. I really don't know why I never spelled coolant last night. So far, so good on the temperature. Hopefully it stays that way. I will say, I think I know why the radiator started leaking. It's probably because it got bashed to bits bombing down the highway last night at 80 for 130, 40, 50 miles. You know, that could have something to do with it. In case you were wondering, it's still beautiful here. Nah, this isn't terrifying at all. It's awesome, actually. Well, I'm here at Just Mopar Joe's now, so we're gonna have this whole thing going on today. That'll be a separate video, testing the car and doing some interesting stuff. So feel free to check that out whenever I release it. I've driven 2,400 miles to get to right here. And I got to run on a closed racetrack. That was awesome. Just finished up my test runs with Just Mopar Joe, which, as I mentioned, will be its own video, which you'll see at some point. Tomorrow, I get to drive to Tennessee. It's another 5 hours. There are just rabbits everywhere here. Like, seriously, they're everywhere. Why? They're cute. Well, this is for Mexican spec. I'm swerving down a back road in a loaded ramp truck. You're welcome. Yeah, deafening. Yeah, there's a view. Why do they just scream? I left the truck door open for 10 minutes. Now the cab's full of mosquitoes. I can hear them. They're trying to get me. What is going on here? I went over the world's largest pothole a minute ago. Oh, yeah. It was way worse than that. This thing started and died 3 times. Cummins isn't supposed to do that. Maybe it's because I went through the world's largest pothole. Now I get to check for fuel leaks. Well, I don't think anything important fell off. That's the good news. All right. Tomorrow we drive to Tennessee. This is too many things to carry. Good morning from Lone Oak, Arkansas. I got some sleep. That was nice. Well, better yes. Fixed. It's not that low, and that's after like 200 miles? I don't know. I think it's probably fine. Should I be concerned about the fluids that seem to be leaching out of the winch battery? Having the air conditioning work for this trip, nothing short of miraculous. I do have to control the compressor manually, flicking it off and on occasionally to make sure it doesn't ice up the valve or whatever, but works pretty well. Why can I not even shut a door without tearing up my knuckles? It's ridiculous. I haven't done this in a few days. It's definitely time. Brake juice. This will be day 6 in this truck. It's getting a little old, if I'm honest. The ride is terrible. It's not the loudest thing in the world, but it's loud. My ears, I feel like I'm going deaf, which is funny because I was already somewhat deaf. But I kind of feel like someone's holding my ears like this a little bit. Does that make sense? It's not the best. I have been using my earbuds for listening and some semblance of hearing protection. It's got to be better than nothing. I forgot to bring shoes that aren't boots, so I bought these crappy Vans knockoffs at a Walmart. I can feel the air conditioning on my toes. Oh, this is just pure luxury now. Except for, literally everything else about it still. I've got to head back up to Mopar Joe's to hopefully upload a video and pick up my forgotten spare tire for the truck. Anyway, Google put me back on this 2-lane. This is the road I hit the world's largest pothole on last night. Oh yeah, I meant to get fuel, but I forgot. I don't know, hopefully I don't run out in the middle of nowhere. Back on the road, kinda. Gotta go get fuel. All right, now I'm actually on the road. Next stop, Nashville. Well, all right, I might have to pee at some point. You know, if there's one thing I love, it's a line of 3 or 4 trucks in the left lane going 10 under the limit. That's great for making time on the highway. So proud, so majestic. Is this just an I-40 thing? Like, do truckers just do this for, oh yeah? Yeah? Do they do this for fun? So many trucks, just crazy. I don't know if he's a subscriber or just a hardcore Mopar guy, but he sure is excited. Anyway, I'm coming into Memphis now, and I'm not excited about any of this. There's too many cars and trucks and people and things. Tennessee, finally. Why is there a giant pyramid? There's a city. There's a pyramid. There's a giant bridge. Wow. Oh, I guess I'm only just now in Tennessee. That makes sense. Wait, it's a Bass Pro Shops? Okay. Oh good, it's getting worse. Dude, I'm pretty sure jumping off a bridge would be more comfortable than driving this truck down this stretch of road. Shonies! The amount of diesel I have run through this thing. I'm not even at the halfway point of this trip yet. All right, last fuel stop before Nashville, accomplished. Hour left to go now. I am ready to be out of this truck. What do you think it's like for a 30-year-old piece of garbage Dodge truck with a car on the back to come flying past you on the highway at 80? It seems really entertaining, actually. Dang, I think I'm here. All right, I see XJs, so this has to be the place. Uh-huh, a real drag car. Stay.
We'll just walk around a little bit. There's restaurants, there's stuff everywhere there.
There's stuff happening. Huh. Wow.
On a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, it's the day of the race. I'm gonna go ahead and do a separate video for that as well, so you'll have probably seen that by the time this one comes out. That's not important. Anyway, nothing's blown up yet. I checked the radiator today and it's actually almost still full, so I guess the magic leak sealer has done its job. I've been seeing signs for 3 states, but finally, horses and buggies. Well, it's Friday night, and as you will have seen on my video for the race with Tony, I destroyed the rear axle in the Demon. So I tucked it back onto the Ram truck, put my tail between my legs, and headed north. I'm going up to Minnesota now. I'm supposed to be at the Mopars in the Park car show tomorrow. I'm gonna be a little late, I'll just tell you right now. It's 8:45 local time, and it's a 13.5-hour drive. Yeah. Oh dear, awesome. Maybe we'll find one of those with the front of the truck. That'd be fun. Universe, if you're listening, I do not want to find a deer with the front of the truck. That was a joke. I'm another hour and a half up the road, north and west. I'm actually going through Iowa, completely avoiding the mess that is Illinois and toll roads and Chicago and all that stuff. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of middle of nowhere tonight. I still don't know how far I'm going to get, but I'm going to make as many miles as I can. I'm trying to find a good fuel stop in a few minutes here because the truck is telling me it's thirsty, and I believe it. Anyway, the headlights quit flickering. That's neat. Do you remember a minute ago when I was excited because the headlights weren't flickering anymore? I figured out why. Oh, good. It was the easiest fix possible. Yeah, wires work better when they're connected. We're good. Leak sealer. It pedaled, and it only took 19.6 gallons. Now we're down to 1. About driving a loaded Ram truck through a drive-thru. Tell you what I know, it's easier than a car trailer. Well, I'm somewhere in the south of Illinois. I also went through a corner of Kentucky. I had no idea that was going to happen. And sometime soon, I'm going to go through St. Louis and then Iowa? Or are those out of order? I don't even know. Anyway, I'm just going to keep driving until Google tells me to stop. Had to stop. Forgot water last time. Need a breather. Wipe the sleepy stuff out of my eyes. Maybe tinkle. Put on a sweater. That kind of thing, you know. Eat a donut. It's 12:30 back home, which means it's 2:30 here. Okay, the mess in here is seriously getting out of hand. Hadn't seen the rain in a week. Didn't miss it. Rolling on. St. Louis next, I guess. St. Louis. Look, there's an Archie thing and everything. Does that make sense? There's an arch. It's like their whole thing. Also this bridge, I think. Yeah, so sometimes the semi-trucks just use every lane all at once. That's pretty cool, I think. Wow! Also, this trucker's drunk or asleep or both. And I'm in Missouri, again, but a different part of it. I've been through so many big cities in America I've never seen before on this trip. It's 5 in the morning. I'm pooped. So I'm gonna do what all the big trucks seem to do around here and just hang out on the side of the freeway on-ramp and take a nap. That'll fix it. You know, if only I were 6 inches shorter, this would actually work. Good morning. It's like 2 hours later, and I'm still sitting next to this on-ramp. In Iowa, I think. Am I in Iowa? I don't even know. No, I'm still in Missouri. Iowa's that way, so let's go there. I don't know what kind of sleep that was, but I know it wasn't the beauty kind. This rain showed up in Arkansas after I left, and it's been hanging out up in Minnesota where I'm going. But miraculously, it did not show up in Tennessee, where I was racing Tony, or trying to race Tony, anyway. This is pretty. Wow. Yeah, this is really cool. Fuel is so cheap here. I'm a fan. What's going on here? Chance of light rain within the next hour. Thanks, Google. Oh yeah, welcome to Iowa, like 45 minutes ago or something. Did you know things rust here? That's like a nice, relatively new Cummins truck, and it's missing rocker panels and bed sides and everything else. Stuff rusts in the Northwest, but it's nothing like over here. Well, that's interesting. I should have a whole lot more fuel left than I do. At least according to the number of miles I've gone. But I don't know. My odometer kind of freaked out yesterday and I lost at least 50 or 60 miles. I don't know what the deal with that is. Of course, I passed a perfectly good truck stop, then pulled into a local station that doesn't have diesel. It's the only station anywhere near this exit. And speaking of this exit, there's no return to the highway, and now I get to run down this 2-lane back road for a while until I can get on it again. Isn't that neat? At least it's pretty, that's the good news. All I had to do was run 2 more exits to find lots of food and all the fuel stops in the known universe. Suddenly, Iowa City and cars, which I hate. So, remember that intermittent, the brake pedal doesn't do stuff very well thing? Well, it just did that twice, actually, at relatively inopportune times. I think what's happening is it's like locking up the rear brakes and there aren't any front brakes, but then when I hit it again, they're back. So, I don't know. Same local chain with a station that has diesel, but it's all torn up. Why? Just why? Everything's going super good right now. Wow, there is said Iowa City. Truck's full of fuel again. Unfortunately, I'm gonna run out before the Mopar's in the Park show, so I'll have to stop again. That's great. I think I figured out the occasionally hard brake pedal thing. Vacuum line coming from the pump. It wasn't off.
76 miles.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't off, but it wasn't firmly connected. So I like pushed it on all the way, and now the brake pedal feels good every time. Quaker Oats. Oh, you can't see that. Well, anyway, it's a giant sign that says Quaker Oats. I don't know where I am. A city in Iowa. Welcome to Waterloo. That's sweet. Nice road you got here. Oh yeah, I'm finally in Minnesota. 86 miles to go. And then hang out at the show for a bit. And then like 90 miles back this way. And then we head west tomorrow. Oh, that's cool. Whee. Oh crap. Crossing the Mississippi. Wow. Okay. Google, I have questions. Well, I'm here, and it's already getting weird. Well, I made it. Didn't die, and didn't even bury the truck in the mud hole, although I probably could have. 3,250 miles to this point. Good times. There's like a giant swap meet. Not today.
Here we go. Here we go. Go. Come on. That's all we got. Go for it. That's all we got. That's all we got. Woo!
Don't look at me like that. I want that. It's perfect. So, well, we left the show because it turns out this is going to be on the cover of Mopar Collector's Guide. That's kind of cool also. It's pretty cool. Jamie's stoked.
Yeah. You're gonna be an O head. You're gonna be the O in Mopar. Actually, you're gonna be the P head.
Nice. I think I've been called that before.
So, what's the theme of the show?
What is the theme of the show? Well, that was cool. My car got photographed for Mopar Collector's Guide. It's gonna be on the cover. I'm even gonna be on the cover. Figure that one out. Anyway, now I've got Tom with me in the truck, so we're frantically repacking everything into the car, so hopefully 2 people fit. Say hi, Tom.
Hi, everybody. I'm driving back with Jamie against my better judgment.
How do you like the ride so far?
It's a little bumpy.
I've done 3,200, well actually it's probably 3,300 miles by now.
I'm kind of glad it was you and not me, I'll be honest.
It's basically a Cadillac ride, you know, it's smooth and it's comfortable and the AC going.
It does have AC, I'm grateful of that.
Yeah, you insisted on that, it was on your rider.
Yes, along with all green M&Ms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought they were brown.
No, you might be right.
We're gonna have to get that straight at some point.
Yeah.
How do you like the shaky camera effect? Isn't that cool?
It's making me car sick.
We add that in post. Anyway, we're gonna drive to Roosters.
We're gonna spend the night there. And then we're gonna go find some more cool stuff tomorrow. There might be chargers involved. We'll see.
I hope there are chargers. Did you notice that I got essentially 0 footage of the car show? Something about pictures and getting put on the cover of a magazine.
Wait, you're getting put on the cover of a magazine?
Yeah, we already did that.
Oh, sorry.
Yay. Welcome to Rooster's Bed and Breakfast. Enjoy your stay.
Then get the hell out.
You know, it's a little breezy today. If you haven't figured it out yet, we're Back at Rooster's place. Why are the truck and Demon covered in flies? What are they trying to say? A couple more of these and we'll be somebody. Just burned like, I don't know, 2 hours getting my Tony race video out, so you'll probably have seen that by now. Well, we're back on the road. Luckily, we only need to drive 8 hours today, something like that. That's nothing. Those are rookie numbers. Dodge Center. Oh, we might have to go there. How far is Chicago?
2 hours. I've run the line already.
Half-pack cigarettes.
It's at night.
It's
I'm wearing
dark. You
sunglasses.
really can't. You're killing me.
I'm a cop car guy. How do I not know this?
Seriously.
Well, hello there. I don't like the looks of this. Well, here we go. Angry rain. So much Iowa. Hey look, we made it to a Dakota. The southerly one. Well, Tom decided he had to take a turn driving this quality vehicle, so
It's just as sketchy as you expect.
yes it is. Such beautiful roads out here. They're all in excellent condition too.
Other than the complete lack of brakes, no cruise control, and the no speedometer, this thing's great.
Well, what about the alignment?
Oh yeah.
Oh, don't do that. What the hell is a corn palace? It's weird being on this side of the truck. Everything's backwards. Whoa. Do that magic trick you just did again. It's self-fixed again. Well, it's hours later and we're somewhere in a Dakota. We're gonna go to the bar, but it's closed. And while we were learning that, we got rained on, which is just awesome. So I think the nose of the truck straightened itself kinda. I noticed the hood now sticks up on that side and it doesn't look so crooked, and the gaps here look the same. That just means the other radiator support mount fell the rest of the way out. Remind me to like fix all that sometime. Oh good, it's still there. It smells like cows, actually. So fixed. Don't go in that, that's bad. Stay. For my homies, I guess. I hope they're thirsty. Oh look, a mosquito breeding ground. Isn't nature beautiful? Still looking good. Nothing important's fallen off. It's Tom's turn to pour diesel all over the ground. Wow, he only piddled a little. We're getting off the interstate now. We're going that way, toward Highway 12, which apparently is terrible. Oh, that's why it smells like garbage truck. What a scenic spot to pee. Just beautiful. I'm getting a real Windows XP home screen vibe here. I like it. My first new state for like 4 days. We're in the North Dakota. That's the other one. We were in Iowa yesterday, but technically I've already been through that twice, so I don't think it counts. It's my truck, but not garbage. Oh, it's beautiful. We just met Josh Jeff at a gas station, which was awesome. We're trying to get out of town and meet some people, but we accidentally found a bunch of Dodges, so we're looking at Dodges. That's pretty much the cab I need right there. Oh yeah. Oh wait, there's more. That thing's sweet.
There's a for sale sign on it too.
It sure does. It's a black 73 or 4 Roadrunner. Huh.
the same place. The picture deal, that picture, the big picture in the back, pull that up. This was Red Lake Road. Right. The ones on the internet didn't have that, I call the moon rings, the one on the top and the bottom. Here's the make to that slick here. He said he had some more of these stickers too, but he didn't give me any of them yet.
Good old fuel toilet.
That's what he said, but it cracked the tile.
It's up there. Jealous. Tom's venturing out on his own in search of cheeseburgers. I hope he finds cheeseburgers.
This is
I guess it's just like this now.
You know what this is, Jack?
Oh, good.
Race jokes.
Whee!
You're a.
Wow. How's stuff going?
Well, the charging wire fell off. The truck isn't charging right now, so we had to turn the AC off. Maybe find a pull out to fix it.
It's fine.
Other than that, it's going pretty good. Jamie's not worried. He has an extra battery and a jumper box. He was very prepared.
Not worried. Oh, look, demon. 60 miles of pure awfulness on Highway 12 in Montana. Knocked the important wire that makes the alternator work out again. But it's an easy fix. I don't think this should do this. I think these parts should be attached to each other. Yeah. That's cool. Maybe the inner fenders will fall out. Maybe that's part of what's shaking around up here all the time. What a horrible mess. Despite not being under a cloud, really. Well, I guess we are. Anyway, it started raining the moment we got in the truck. It looks much more impressive in person. Why does that look like teeth? Yeah, I think we're gonna get wet. You might want to just put that on high. And yeah, okay. Well, it's just as awesome as it looked. Dude. Keep going. You got him? Good news. Now it's lightninging like right above us. That's exciting. Ready for a montage. Montage. Ah, sweet salvation. That kind of sucked.
Turn left. Then the destination is on your left.
Turn left where?
Probably gonna pass on it. Sorry, I thought you had a front end for it.
Dude! Dude! It's a dude! Aww. I thought he made it, but he did not. Billings, Montana. I don't like my headlights. I don't understand. They're fantastic. But the window's trying to fall out into the door, which is not ideal. I kind of need this window. What is happening there? Still. Columbus, Montana. It's cold and windy. Someone should tell Montana that it's June. This sucks and I hate it. Oh good, it's still here. Also still windy. It's what, 46 degrees?
Something like that.
I think grid heaters are still extra.
Oh, look at that.
Nothing to her. It's not even billowing smoke. Nice. On the road again. I'm having a hard time with this 35-mile-an-hour headwind, but this poor guy towing a tiny home, he's just billowing smoke everywhere. Wow. Look at that. That's awesome. Tiny home guy. Giant mountain pass. Lots of fun. It only got a little hot. Whee! Butte. Butte. Hey, that's where I stayed on the 69 Charger trip when I picked that car up in Chicago. That's the hotel I parked it at where everything was totally fine, and then in the morning it was not totally fine anymore. That's where I bought a fuel filter that didn't help anything at all. When I came through here in the Charger, the road was all torn up down to one lane, and there were huge like drops in it, groove pavement and stuff. And it was in one of those that I realized the brakes weren't working right anymore. And it only got better from there. Cool stuff. I like cool stuff. It was right here on the Charger trip that I realized smoke was billowing out of the back of it. That was fun. And it was right here on the Charger trip where I realized how screwed I was. Ooh, cab donor. Just kidding. That's a Sabre. There was a Charger here. It seems to have disappeared, but I'm really excited about that. More cool stuff. Hello? I take back what I said earlier. It's definitely still bent. Found the thing we couldn't find. It was right here the whole time. Nice. Hello again. I like this thing. I want to climb up there. It seems like a reasonable request. I also really want to own a caboose someday. There are a couple more important landmarks for my Charger road trip, but one of them was right here when the crap really hit the fan. And I started trying to find a water pump, which was impossible. Oh yeah, it's like a train, but much smaller. So much cool stuff here. They don't just automatically knock it down like we do out west. Mustang 2! Little long. Look at that. That guy's driving a Lincoln from Arizona to Idaho or something. So when I was on that trip in the 69 Charger, the water pump exploded right here. Yeah, good times. So then I tried to coast to that exit. Didn't quite make it. Started the car again. Totally killed the water pump, set the fan through the radiator, and cost this man like a bunch of money.
Like $500-600.
Yeah, I think it was more than that. Anyway, that was good times. Yeah, I couldn't quite coast up this hill, so I had to restart the car. It was all bad. So then, I got to sit over here for like 2 hours until AAA showed up. And, yeah, good memories. Oh look. Someone else is broken in exactly the same spot. That sucks. What's this horrible mess? Back in Idaho, there was a crazy mountain pass involved. That was fun. Coeur d'Alene. I forgot. We lost the alternator again like 30 miles ago. What did you do now? Stop throwing things under the brake. This area has been on fire.
Get a club cab.
Yeah. Stuff falling off has definitely been a recurring theme here. That appears to be dust. Nifty.
Why are we slowing down?
Hatred. That's a big hill. Still going. Cool things. Last fuel stop stopped. Something like 2 hours and 10 minutes to Rocket. And then I have another hour home. Anyway, now we're gonna climb a pass. It's looking awesome. Is that a wildlife bridge? Oh yeah. This is only the second one I've ever seen. The first one was north of Missoula in the middle of nowhere. It's all pretty and stuff, and you still can't see it. Oh, there you go. Bright thing in the sky is back. This is all really terrifying and bad. Whee! I think we're finally done climbing mountains. Well, the good news is we're on I-5. The bad news is we're on I-5. Ugh. Hey, this is the road this truck almost death wallowed me off of like a month and a half ago. And look at it now. Tom won the bet. 4 cab lights. Yeah, it's 4. Does that mean I owe you an ice cream cake now? Yup. It's a truck. Well, we made it to Rocket. But of course, I don't live at Rocket. I live at home, so now I'm gonna go there. I did air up the left air shock again. Unsurprisingly, all the air was gone from that. Probably could have done that like 5 states ago, but look at all this room I have for activities now. And all the crumbs. Anyway, one more start, please. All right. I really should have adjusted the headlights like 5 states ago, too. As usual, they look amazing in the camera, but they're not. Not even a little bit. It's only almost dark. It's 10 p.m. Hour drive left to go. Home stretch. One long construction zone. This whole country is a construction zone, I'm pretty sure. Welcome to that place. Nice. Oh wow, all my stuff's still here. Well, we did it. Nice. Tiny donut. I'm gonna go to sleep. We'll wrap this up in the morning. Wow. Just wow. That's just kind of crazy. This old crappy, beat up, slightly bent, first generation Cummins truck hit the road and drove across like 9 states. I don't know. I should probably count them, I guess. And it did so without any major issues. Couple minor ones, sure. It was falling apart when I left, and that situation certainly hasn't gotten any better. To say it needs to be cleaned out would be an understatement. The radiator needs some love. That's getting worse again. The valve cover gasket seeped some oil. There's some ATF on a lot of things over here. This intercooler boot is not going to be winning with us much longer. The brakes are terrible and sometimes don't work at all. The steering and suspension need some help. I'm pretty sure the frame is tweaked. And I'm also pretty sure the wheelbase doesn't match side to side, which would mean the axle's mounted crooked or something. But it made it. It flew across mountain passes, 6,000 feet of elevation, up and down, again and again, pedaled to the floor, dragging that 10,000 pounds, or maybe a little more total, and it just didn't care. This truck is a legend. It embodies everything I love about these old Dodges. Yeah, it's kind of falling apart. Yeah, it was kind of cheaply built. It's not exactly a comfortable ride or anything, but it performs. It performs admirably, and I'm impressed. I have a lot of future plans for this truck. The biggest one is putting a shifter right here. That'll alleviate any future transmission concerns and make this thing a much better hauler and mountain crosser. My plan for this build has always been to rip this crappy cab off and install a swept line cab here. Thing is though, I don't think I'm gonna do that. First off, well, this is probably less bad than a swept line is. It's pretty bad, but it's less bad, I'm thinking. As far as ride quality and I don't know, creature comforts and noise, I think this is better. Also, it has air conditioning and it works, and I don't want to ruin that. So here's what I'm thinking instead. I'm going to save the cab. I need to fix the smashed rocker, and there are a lot of other things that could be improved, but the cab itself, I think it's going to stay. It just so happens that you can bolt all of the older parts, the front end, the bumper, the door, all of that, off of one of these trucks from the 70s right onto the 90s truck and kind of backdate it, you know? I was strongly tempted to do that with this truck. Thankfully, I sold this truck to Josh Jesh, and you'll be seeing updates on it in the future as we upgrade the engine and do other things to get it ready to drive to whichever Dakota he lives in. I can't keep him straight. I will have a swept line style hauler one of these years. I really like that idea, and I think it'll be great. With the older style stuff bolted onto it, it'll still look like it came straight out of the 70s, and that's ultimately what I want. A truck that looks right with a 70s style drag car parked on the back. My ultimate vision for this thing strongly resembles a semi-truck, but small. I'm thinking tilt nose, big tall mirrors, like West Coast style truck mirrors. I'm thinking suspension seats, or maybe even air ride for the cab. I've got some ideas. That brilliant plan will just automatically fix a bunch of weird little issues like this. Now, I need to be honest with myself here. It's going to be a long time until any of that stuff happens. But the good news is, in the meantime, I have a working ramp truck. I can throw my Demon on the back, once it's fixed, of course, and go to the racetrack this summer. And that's great. Speaking of the Demon, if you somehow haven't seen them already, I have 2 separate videos from this trip covering the events with just Mopar Joe, putting the slicks on the back and getting this thing to do little tiny wheelies and testing. And then, of course, driving over to Nashville to lose to Uncle Tony, break the rear differential, and eat some melted ice cream cake. So make sure you check those out. Everyone's dying to know what really happened to this thing, myself included. So, in the coming days, after I recover, the first thing I'm going to do is get this thing off the truck, back on the 2-post lift, pull the diff out, and then we'll do an autopsy video. So look forward to that coming soon as well. Now, of course, the odometer in this truck does not work, so I've been using one on my phone. Turns out, it's not 100% accurate, and a bunch of miles went missing. So I hopped onto the Google Maps, kind of roughly estimated everywhere I went on this trip. That did not include a bunch of the zigzagging in the Dakotas and Montana to go stop at different places. It totaled out to 5,850 miles, so I'm very confident saying this was actually 6,000 or more miles in this thing. A truck that was sitting in a field 2 months ago and that I built and fixed in 3 weeks. 6,000 miles. I'm sure this is a very long video. I have no idea how long, but yeah. If you stuck with me this far, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed this adventure. There will definitely be more like it coming, and many of them in this truck. I'm looking forward to it. Kind of. Eventually. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that. And I'll see you on the next one. Until then, thank you very much for watching. And remember, don't try this at home. I'm gonna go take a nap.